My sister Patricia was christening her $650,000 yacht when my father looked me up and down and said, "At least Patricia knows how to dress for a yacht club. You look like you're here to clean the boats." Everyone laughed. My sister. My mother. The guests holding champagne on the deck. I approved. The sound felt far away, like I was underwater. My vision narrowed. My hands went numb. The dock beneath my feet, my dock, started to tilt. I own this marina. They had no idea. And in 13 minutes, they were about to find out. 2 minutes earlier, I'd been standing at the edge of Dock C watching my family celebrate. Lucas had his phone up recording. "Meg, wave or something. You're ruining the aesthetic." I breathed in slowly, tasting salt and diesel. That's when I saw Captain Reynolds round the corner, my head of operations, arriving at exactly 4 p.m. as I'd instructed. He walked straight toward me. "Ma'am," Captain Reynolds said, his voice carrying clearly, "your fleet's ready for inspection." Every head turned. Patricia's champagne flute froze midair. Mom's hand dropped from her face. Dad's smile cracked like thin ice.
My face stayed calm.
My shoulders relaxed. I'm Margaret. Most people call me Meg. I'm 43, and for 17 years, I've quietly built a fleet management company that oversees yacht charters and marina operations. I own the marina we're standing in. I own the dock my sister's standing on. But my family has never noticed. Let me tell you how we got here. 2 hours earlier, my phone buzzed. It was Mom. The text made my jaw tighten. "Patricia's christening the Serafina today at 3. Family only. Please try to look presentable." Please try to look presentable? Like I ever did anything else. The Serafina. The yacht I'd approved for sale through my LLC, Sterling Maritime Holdings. The same LLC Patricia had unknowingly used as scratch paper last Christmas, drawing holly leaves on my revenue reports. Jennifer knocked. The Richmond Marina called about storm damage estimates. "Give me 10 minutes.
My phone buzzed again.
"Mom, bring a +1 if you want." Patricia says the more the merrier. Patricia didn't even know I was single. Hadn't asked in 3 years. My jaw clenched. How many times had I told myself it didn't matter? That they were busy, that I was fine, that this was just how families were? But I wasn't fine. I changed into my navy dress and drove to Harborview Marina. My marina. I had a plan. Nicholas didn't know I knew about the loan. Patricia didn't know I owned anything. Dad didn't know I'd been watching. Waiting. In 13 minutes, everyone was about to find out. The parking lot was crowded. A banner hung above the dock gate. "Congratulations, Patricia, Serafina christening." My name wasn't on it. I'd approved the permit last week. My stomach went cold.
Dad saw me first.
When his eyes landed on me, his mouth pulled down. He said something to 2 men that made them chuckle. My stomach nodded. He walked toward me. "Margaret. Surprised you showed up." Mom texted. He looked me up and down. "Try not to make this about you, all right?" Patricia's having a moment. I stopped walking. Looked at him directly.
My voice came out calm.
"I own this marina, Dad." Silence. His mouth opened.
Closed.
His face drained of color. His voice strangled. "You what? The woman you thought was here to clean the boats owns the dock you're standing on." I walked past him. Behind me, his voice confused and sharp. What did she just? My hand stayed steady. I'd waited 17 years for this. My phone buzzed. "Captain Reynolds. Inspection reminder, 4 p.m. today. Right on schedule." 3:47, 13 minutes. I typed back. "Perfect. See you at 4. 12 minutes left before it all came crashing down. The first crack appeared when Maria saw me. The marina's event coordinator stopped dead. "Miss Sterling, I didn't know you'd be here." Patricia turned. Her smile faltered. I smiled at Maria. "I'm fine, thank you." Patricia stared. "How do you know the event coordinator?" I said nothing, just walked toward the yacht. Behind me, Patricia's voice rose, uncertain. "Meg, how do you know Maria?" A guest pulled out his phone. Started filming. I climbed aboard the Serafina. 42 feet of gleaming fiberglass I'd approved for sale 2 days ago. $650,000. Patricia's dream boat, bought with money she thought Nicholas had earned himself. Patricia grabbed my arm, gripped too tight. Let me show you everything. Nicholas negotiated everything himself. Nicholas, her husband, the man who'd taken my $200,000 loan 3 years ago and promised he'd tell Patricia within the week. He never did. The cabin was beautiful, white leather and polished wood. She ran her hand along the marble countertop. Nicholas negotiated everything. He got us 20% off. Can you believe it? I went very still. 20%. The exact discount I'd instructed my sales team to offer any family member. A bitter laugh threatened to escape. She was standing in a boat I'd approved, celebrating a discount I'd created, bragging to me about her husband's negotiation skills. And she had no idea. My voice came out quiet. The family discount. Patricia's smile faltered. What? The 20%. That's the family discount. Confusion crossed her face. I don't understand. I know you don't. Her expression softened. Her voice dropped, almost gentle. Meg, I'm really glad you came. I know we don't talk as much as we should, but you're still my sister. That matters to me. My chest loosened slightly. Maybe. She squeezed my hand. Enthusiasm building. Maybe we could grab lunch next week? Just us. I want to hear about your life. About your work. Mom said you do concierge services. For one moment, I let myself hope. I'd like that. Her face brightened. Perfect. We can go to that place on the harbor. Oh, what's it called? Harbor View Bistro.
Yes.
Nicholas and I went for our anniversary. My stomach tightened. Harbor View Bistro. The restaurant in my Marina. That I own. Sounds good. She squeezed my hand again. I mean it, Meg. I want to be better. Something in my chest cracked open. Not forgiveness, but possibility. Then Mom's voice floated down, bright and commanding. Patricia, darling, the photographer's ready. Patricia dropped my hand instantly. Coming. Already moving toward the stairs. We'll definitely do that lunch. I'll text you. She disappeared. I stood there alone. She wouldn't text. I knew she wouldn't text. But for 30 seconds, I'd let myself hope she would. Hope is expensive when you're invisible. On deck, Patricia was posing for photos. Lucas was directing shots. Mom stood proud beside her golden child. I was invisible again, exactly where they expected me to be. For a moment, standing there, I wondered if I should just leave. Let them have their perfect day. Pretend I didn't own all of this. But then I saw Nicholas across the deck, playing successful businessman.
No.
I'd waited 17 years. Someone's phone chimed. Lucas laughed. Oh my God, Patricia, this is trending locally. Hashtag Serafina christening. Patricia squealed. How many posts? Lucas scrolled, grinning. 62 now. Someone started a thread about yacht goals. My Marina. Trending. My dock. My permit. My approval. None of them knew. I watched Nicholas across the deck. Our eyes met. His smile froze. He knew. When I'd seen his name on the yacht purchase agreement 2 days ago, I'd called him. Gave him one last chance. Tell her before the christening, or I will. He'd chosen silence. Nicholas moved toward me quickly, face pale. His voice urgent. Meg.
Can we talk?
Privately? He pulled me aside. His voice desperate.
Please.
Don't do this. Not here. I'll tell her tonight. Just give me a chance. My voice came out cold. You've had 3 years to do it right. His face crumbled. The difference between you and me, Nicholas? I don't need chances. I make choices. Captain Reynolds appeared, and my family's carefully constructed world was about to shatter. Everything changed in the space of 4 words. Captain Reynolds stopped beside the yacht. Ma'am, he said clearly, your fleet's ready for inspection. Nicholas's face went white. His hand dropped from my arm. Dad positioned himself next to me. Delivered his line about my dress. Patricia turned, champagne flute raised. Meg's trying her best. Something inside my chest snapped clean. Captain Reynolds's voice rang out. Ma'am, your fleet's ready for inspection. I didn't move. Didn't blink. Let the words hang in the air. Patricia's champagne flute froze midair. Mom's mouth opened. Dad's face went blank. Lucas's phone slipped. The photographer lowered her camera. Conversations died. Guests turned. Someone whispered, barely audible. Did he just say fleet? Patricia's voice came out strangled. Your fleet. I turned to Captain Reynolds, voice steady. Thank you. I'll be there in 10 minutes. He nodded with military precision. Of course, ma'am. He turned and walked away. No one spoke. Patricia finally found her voice. And that's when the real devastation began. Patricia's voice shook.
Meg.
What did he mean? My voice came out quiet. I own the Marina. The words dropped like stones. Lucas's phone clattered. Mom made a sound like someone had punched her. Patricia just stared. Her voice came out in fragments. You own this marina? Harborview. Yes. But you work in tourism. I stayed very still. I own 4 marinas along the coast. Silence. A guest whispered, for marinas? Another murmured back, that's millions. Dad's voice cracked. 4. I said nothing. Patricia's voice cut through, demanding. Which ones? I looked at her, smiled slightly. Her voice rose. Which marinas, Meg? Lucas's phone buzzed. His face went pale. Oh my God. Patricia whipped around. What? He turned his phone. Sterling Maritime Holdings, CEO Margaret Sterling. Property listings. Revenue reports. News articles. Patricia grabbed the phone, her face cycling through disbelief and horror. There are articles. Acquisitions. Expansions. Why didn't these ever show up? I met her eyes. Because you never searched for me before. The silence was absolute. Someone muttered, Jesus Christ. Another voice, she's been in Forbes. Dad's voice cracked. Forbes? Margaret was in Forbes. I stayed very still. Last year, 40 under 40 maritime industry leaders. I had a copy sent to Mom's house. It sat in the coffee table stack for 3 months. I saw it every Sunday. You never opened it. Mom's hand went to her mouth. I waited to see if any of you would flip through it. If any of you would see my name and realize what I'd built. Nobody did. Turns out you can put someone on the cover of a magazine and they'll still be invisible to their own family. Dad's shoulders sagged. But I wasn't done yet. The moment was already going viral, and I was about to make it worse. Lucas's voice cut through, desperate.
Wait.
Meg, did you approve my slip rental application last month? At Riverside. I looked at Lucas. Said nothing. His voice dropped to a horrified whisper. That was you. You rejected my application. You own Riverside too. I didn't answer. His phone slipped from his hands. Hit the deck. Mom climbed down carefully, her hands shaking. Margaret, sweetheart. When did this happen? I bought Harborview 18 months ago. Started the company 7 years before that. Her voice flat. 7 years. You've owned a business for 7 years and never told us? I told you I was starting a company. You said it was a nice hobby. Her face crumbled. I didn't mean. Yes, you did. You asked if I was planning to sell essential oils or makeup. The memory landed like a slap. Patricia's champagne glass hit the deck and shattered. Her voice came out broken. You let me buy a yacht from you. You watched me plan this entire party. You approved the permits. And you never said a word. You never asked who owned it. Because I didn't think my own sister would humiliate me like this. Her voice rose. In front of everyone. Phones tilted.
Zoomed in.
I didn't humiliate you, Patricia. You did that yourself.
How?
By being excited about something I worked for. Your success. The words came out flat. The down payment came from Nicholas's consulting income. The income from contracts I helped him secure. The business loan I gave him that saved your condo, your wedding, everything. Patricia turned to Nicholas, face white. What is she talking about? I stayed perfectly still. Nicholas's eyes found mine. Patricia's voice barely audible. How much? I let the silence stretch. That Thursday before dinner, Patricia called. Her voice different. Flat. Exhausted. Lucas thinks we should give you space. Dad thinks we should send a formal apology letter. Mom wants to show up at your office and beg. I said nothing. I don't know what to do, Meg. I don't know how to fix 17 years of being a terrible sister. Google doesn't have an article for that. Despite everything, I almost smiled. My voice quiet. You can't fix it. You can only do better going forward. What if better isn't enough? Then it isn't. But it's still better than what you were doing before. Silence. Her voice small. Dinner Sunday? No expectations. No cameras. Just dinner. I hesitated. Maybe. That's more than I deserve. I'll take it. 2 months later, the invitations started coming. Not demands. Not guilt trips. Actual invitations. Captain Reynolds found me during inspections.
His voice calm.
Your sister's here. On the Serafina. She's been coming every weekend. She asked about you. Something in my chest loosened. Tell her I'll stop by next time. The first Sunday dinner in 17 years felt different. I sat at Mom's table. Patricia was there. Lucas. Dad. All of them watching me like they were seeing me for the first time. Lucas broke the silence. Tentative. Tell us about your Marinas. Dad's fork stopped. Mom's hand froze. Patricia's eyes went wide. Lucas looked around. Isn't that why we're here? My voice quiet.
Yes.
That's exactly why we're here. I told them about Sterling Maritime Holdings. The 4 marinas. The fleet management contracts. The expansion plans. They listened. Asked questions. Patricia took notes. When Dad spoke, his voice thick with emotion. I'm proud of you, Margaret. Something in my chest shifted.
My throat went tight.
But my voice stayed steady. Thank you. A month after the dinner, Dad asked if he could stop by my office. I almost said no, but curiosity won. He sat across from my desk, looking older than I'd ever seen him. His hands shook slightly. I've been thinking about what you said. About the restaurant. Your 40th birthday. His voice cracked. I remembered it last week. I was helping Patricia pick napkin colors for a party 6 months away, and you called. I heard your voice through the phone. Hopeful, tentative, and I told your mother to tell you we were busy. I stayed very still. I didn't even think about it. You were just Meg. Reliable Meg. You'd understand. But you were 40. And you were alone. And I chose napkin colors. My throat went tight. He pulled out a photo. From my MBA graduation. I was standing alone on the steps, diploma in hand, smiling. He wasn't in the frame. I left early that day. Patricia had a gallery opening. I told myself your graduation would go on for hours anyway, that you wouldn't mind. But you did mind. I saw it in your face. And I left anyway. He set the photo on my desk. I can't fix that. I can't fix any of it. But I need you to know I see it now. I see what I did. His voice broke completely. And Margaret, I'm so sorry. It wasn't enough. It would never be enough. But it was a start. My voice quiet. Thank you for saying that. He nodded, stood to leave, then paused at the door. That dress you wore to the christening? You looked beautiful. I should have said that instead. He left before I could respond. 3 months after the christening, Jennifer brought in a gift basket. Thank you for teaching me what success actually looks like. Love, Patricia. Inside was a framed photo from the christening, the moment right after Captain Reynolds spoke. I'm standing on the dock, calm and still, while everyone around me is frozen in shock. But it wasn't the photo Patricia had posted on Instagram. In that one, she'd cropped me out entirely. This was the full shot. The one where I was centered. The one she'd hidden. She'd kept it anyway. Patricia had circled my face with a silver marker and written, "The woman who saved us all." I put it on my desk, not because it made me victorious, but because it reminded me of something I'd learned. Some people spend their whole lives waiting to be seen. I stopped waiting the day I realized the only person who needed to see me was staring back in the mirror. A week later, my phone buzzed during a client meeting. Patricia, closed the Serafina sale today. Buyers doing a full inspection. I told them to call you if they have questions about the Marina policies.
Gave them your direct line.
Hope that's okay. I stared at the message. She was selling the Serafina, and more than that, she was deferring to me.
Publicly.
Acknowledging my authority without me asking for it. I typed back. That's perfect. Thank you for the heads up. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. I'm learning. I smiled. I know. They spent 17 years teaching me to be invisible. I spent 17 years building an empire in plain sight. Turns out I learned both lessons perfectly. My phone buzzed. Lucas. Dinner again next Sunday? I want to hear about the expansion plans. If you'll tell us. I smiled. Maybe. Some things they'd have to earn.